He tells me about a Marine drill sergeant from Parris Island that had a recruit who just couldn't make it over the wall on the obstacle course. After the third try, he runs over yelling, "Gonzalez, who in God's name could tell you to be a Marine?" Gonzalez stands up, full attention, says, "Sir, the Navy recruiter, sir." I want to first thank the Lord for the grace, wisdom, and guidance He has provided our team and fellow stakeholders in this journey. Let me also welcome the Henry family and thank them for allowing us to rededicate the Freedom Center here at Henry. Your family is synonymous with service to America, Ohio, and this institution. I also want to acknowledge our military active and veterans present for their service as well. You are counted among our greatest and best hopes for America's future. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank my friends from Columbus. First, the Honorable David Yost, our state auditor, and I must recognize my holy trinity of help on earth. Lynn Stevens, who always runs late, so she'll be here. Eli Fays and Jason Dominguez. These officials put the service in public service. I have called on them on so many occasions, and they've always answered the call. I'm grateful and honored to call them my friends and fellow warriors for this noble cause. Next, we couldn't have made any of this possible without the leadership and vision of President Tom Timmer. He actually took a Latino named Hiram from the near west side of Cleveland, serious about bringing this program to Hiram College. I also wish to thank all of the faculty and staff here on campus, everyone from Dan and Andy at the physical plant to Donna and Mary Lou in administration, senior staff like Tim Bryan, Jim McGool, and Dan Stafford in admissions, folks from the food service at Hiram Dining Hall to the Hiram Bistro, and our food service personnel like Amanda, Charlotte, and Marcia, who've all been outstanding. And Mary, who's not here right now, but she's the event coordinator who stepped in and added a little elegance to this soiree. Okay. Our contractors should also be mentioned for the work done here on time and on budget, including Pat and Andy, our PR firm. They are here and have plenty of business cards, so find them, they'll be around. I must also add that 60% of this budget went to veteran, women, and minority-owned Ohio firms, a fact that fits very well given our mission. Lynn asked me when we first signed the agreement if I had planned to use these firms for the renovation of this building, and I answered, "You mean, besides me, it's the minority developer, right?" Finally, I have to give my heartfelt thanks to our partnership with Brown, Gibbons, and Lang, and our Patriot staff associates, Robbie, Candy, and Nancy. Our supporting cast from BGL, Anthony Delfrey, Jeff Steck, Nancy DeMarco, and Athena Gallows. And a special thanks to Mike Gibbons, a fellow Jesuit that exemplifies a man for others. He expects great things from this program, and as a fellow Jesuit, and we are the Marines of the Catholic faith, I have committed us to success here at Hiram that is both continuous and contagious. As you have taken time to visit Hiram, the site of the Ohio Winter Olympics, we hope you take the building tour. And for some of you hardier folks who are Norwegian, Scandinavian, German, will walk around the campus. Please now join me in our invocation with our chaplain, Jason Berger-Thompson, and thank you all for being a part of this event today.
Let us pray. Holy God, be with us, and let us not forget the noble efforts of the past, in times of war and peace, to preserve freedom and liberty, to guard democracy, and maintain order to sustain humanity in ways of understanding, respect, and justice. In rededicating this building, we honor men and women who have, with courage, sacrificed themselves in all the battlefields of life, showing compassion and concern for all. May the Freedom Center at Henry Hall be a blessing to our military men and women who come to Hiram seeking wisdom, knowledge, and the tools to continue to be successful citizens in our nation and the world. May this physical space be more than a building, but rather a symbol of our community's commitment to diversity, inclusion, perseverance, and justice. Amen.
Thank you, Jason. It's my real honor to represent the faculty, staff, students, and alums of Hiram College at this ceremony today. I've participated over the last 10-plus years in numerous ribbon cuttings on the campus. This one, however, is special. This is an effort that's not just the renovation of a building, and a historic building. It's really much bigger than that. Today, we recognize and celebrate the history and tradition that we have here at Hiram College, and we inaugurate a venue that will be the next chapter in that tradition. When Hiram College was barely 10 years old, James A. Garfield took a regiment of young men from the college and surrounding neighborhood to the Civil War. Garfield was not a hawk, he was not a neocon or a warmonger by any chance, but he understood that under certain circumstances, force is necessary. Today's veterans and our active military, I believe, very much follow in James A. Garfield's footsteps. Engage when necessary. We as a country are so fortunate to have these dedicated men and women, and we as a college seek to provide the exact kind of environment that our veterans need to launch themselves into the next phase of their lives. We will welcome these people who have put themselves in harm's way. We will welcome them into our community and know that they will add much to what our little academic village here is so distinctive for. I'm really thrilled to have the opportunity to partner with Hiram. I think it's just wonderful that he has that name. Just a coincidence, but a wonderful coincidence. And his colleagues, not only at the Patriot Development Group, but Mike Gibbons and his colleagues at BGL. Hiram's passion is palpable. I think that you can feel that across the room. You know that he is dedicated to this endeavor. And I don't have any doubt whatsoever that our partnership is going to be successful and that we're going to be able to provide the learning and living environment for our veterans that will make this program nationally known. I'm equally honored today that so many members of the Henry family were able to come. The Henry family is held in extremely high regard here at Hiram Hill. Your family has given so much to us over the years. And if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like the members of the family to stand so that we can thank them for their contribution. It's wonderful to have you here, and I'm really pleased that Don is going to participate in the ribbon cutting that we're going to do in just a few moments. I think that is entirely appropriate. I wanted to end my brief remarks by just saying that I know that this building, the Freedom Center at Henry Hall, is going to serve as more than a place just for veterans to live. The Freedom Center is where veteran students will see their dreams unfold, where their passion for learning will be ignited, where a grateful community can demonstrate its profound regard for their willingness to serve their country. Freedom Center at Henry Hall is where new paths will emerge and where lives will be transformed. To my dear friend Hiram de Jesus, and to members of the Henry family, and all of you who are willing to brave the winter weather, and it is a beautiful day in our neighborhood. I thank you for coming here, for making this event possible. You might want to look out the window just to the east. There's a white building to the front of the property. That is the Zimmerman Garfield House. The college recently acquired the home from the Zimmerman family. That is where James A. Garfield, who, as you all know, was president here, lived between the time he returned from the Civil War until he moved to Mentor, to what is now called Lawnfield, a national park. We have acquired this building that has been, at least its first floor, kept pretty much in the same condition as it was when James A. lived there. And we intend to use that as part of our Garfield Institute. We expect not only our Garfield Center for Public Leadership, but also a new enterprise that we're embarked on around presidential leadership and presidential ethics to be housed in this building sometime in the immediate future. I think it is very appropriate that it sits so close to Freedom Hall, where our veterans will be learning and learning to live. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the hard work that has gone into this building. But thank you for the expected work, contributions, support, and assistance that you're all going to provide to the young men and women who occupy this building in the future.
I'd like to bring Amber up. She's got a few words from Senator Sherrod Brown. He couldn't make it today, but he sent a veteran female National Guard person. So come on.
Good afternoon. Dear friends, although I cannot be with you today, please allow me to extend my congratulations as you celebrate the grand opening of the Freedom Center at Henry Hall. Today, Freedom Center at Henry Hall becomes the first college institution in the Midwest to dedicate housing solely for military veterans. I applaud the Patriot Development Group and BGL for their continued efforts with Hiram College to provide returning veterans with the best possible environment as they transition back into civilian life. Your actions are commendable, and I am confident that the Freedom Center at Henry Hall will become the new standard for the Hiram Home Front education model. Your new housing facility allows our veterans to continue to serve our nation through the degrees they earn and the careers they pursue. This innovation in military veteran housing will strengthen individuals, families, communities, and the state of Ohio as a whole. Once again, congratulations on this special occasion. You have my best wishes for continued success.
Now I'd like to bring up another guy from Columbus you might recognize. You don't want a call from his office as the state auditor, but you want him as a friend. Dave Yost.
It's an honor to be here. Although, President Chema, you may see this as a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's colder than a tax man's heart out there. We're all grateful for, and it almost is said so often, and I think maybe our ears become numb to the debt of gratitude that we owe to our veterans. I'd like to pause for just a moment and think about what that means, and why I think that there's not just a debt of gratitude, but a degree of honor that's owed to those that serve us in uniform. You see, I've met, and I'm sure you have as well, many people who are able to think about something larger than themselves. But not all people are, and increasingly in our society, it seems as though the question has often been asked, what's in it for me, by more and more people, and that there perhaps is less contribution to the civic life, to our country, to our society. The people that put on the uniform demonstrate by their actions and gamble with their most precious asset that they care more about their society than they do about themselves. I would suggest to you that selflessness is the first virtue from which all others flow. All the things that we find good and honorable in our fellow human beings begin with their ability to be selfless, to disregard their own interests in favor of the interests of their country, a larger group, other people. So it's a great honor for me to be here, ladies and gentlemen, in uniform, to say thank you and to recognize this event. The other thing that it would do us well to understand about this those of us who have not served overseas, have not served in uniform, can't really understand what it's like to come back. I've sat with men and women who have served overseas and have come back, and although they're not eager to talk about it, the truth of the matter is it changes you. It changes you in very fundamental and profound ways to have served. And when you come back to civilian society, there are barriers to being able to resume your old life. In some ways, you'll never have your old life, and the only option you have is to be able to build a new life. The great thing about this hall is not just the leg up on university life that it gives our veterans, but the fact that it gives them a place where their culture, their shared experiences, their shared fears, injuries, hopes, that all those things make sense to each other, a place where they'll be able to help each other in their studies, a place where they'll be able to feel like they fit in. So with that, on behalf of the people of this great state, to all those who have been a part of making this happen today, I am here to present this certificate of recognition and appreciation, and that I will just read the very brief inscription that this new military housing at Hiram College will provide an environment crucial to the comprehensive development of men and women who have served in the armed forces. Hiram College should be commended for this tremendous step toward the betterment of our military and our veterans services, and we appreciate the leadership and the vision for the Patriot Group in leading the way. So with that, congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so as I said, and I love Lynn Stevens, you will find her to be tirelessly working. I got an email from her last night at 2:38 a.m. Okay. So she's coming, but she emailed me this in case, so with your patience, I'll read this and it'll be brief. Governor John R. Kasich and Mary Taylor, Governor and Lieutenant Governor of Ohio, do hereby officially recognize the Patriot Development Group as you celebrate the grand opening of the Freedom Center at Henry Hall. On behalf of the state of Ohio, we join all those gathered in congratulating you as you celebrate the grand opening of the Freedom Hall here at Henry on campus. We commend you for providing dedicated housing to our country's veterans who desire to pursue a college education. We appreciate their sacrifices for our beloved country, and we thank you for your service to them and their families. The state of Ohio is committed to improving service to our veterans, and we welcome and value your feedback as we continue with our efforts. Congratulations to the Patriot Development, Hiram College, and all the partners who work to make Freedom Hall a reality. We wish you the best of luck as you witness the fruits of your earnest labor to grow and expand, and best wishes for a memorable celebration, and may God continue to bless all of you. Signed on this day, January 29, 2014, John R. Kasich and Mary Taylor. So thank you from them. Now I get to introduce one of my favorite, okay? Jason Dominguez he's a Marine, Semper Fi. He's also the first time up in Cleveland at the Cleveland Airport. There's a great picture of our great statue of Superman, because as you know, Superman is born in Cleveland. He stands right next to it, does one of those poses. I swear to God, I took the picture, it went viral. I'm going to introduce Jason Dominguez. He's got a little something to say to you, and please welcome, please.
Well, Hiram, I just got some glasses the other day, so maybe he's so funny. On behalf of the governor of the great state of Ohio and Director Tim Burrell of the Ohio Department of Veterans Services, I'm honored to be here with you today to celebrate the commitment of Hiram College and also celebrate the great work of its partners. I also just want to take a moment just to recognize Auditor Dave Yost, and that he's been such a great advocate for our kids and keeping people accountable in our city schools. And I can't say enough about him. He's glad to have you here today. Ohio is the sixth largest veterans population in the country of 899,000 veterans here. We only have one active duty military base in Wright-Patterson, whereas a place like California has 20 of them. So with that, what does that say about Ohio? We're a state that was mainly settled by Revolutionary War veterans who came west and brought their values here. Their families made roots here, and still today we carry on that tradition of military service and serving something that's beyond ourselves. 76,000 Ohioans have answered the call to Iraq and Afghanistan. And even today, there's over 20,000 student veterans currently using their VA benefits here in Ohio right now. I remember when I was graduating from Ohio State back in 2004, it doesn't seem like too long ago, and I was so close to graduation. I was serving in the Marine Corps Reserves, a unit called Lehman Company 325 out of Columbus, and I had to get permission to go to graduation. So the morning of, my commanding officer gave me permission. So I grabbed my family, we ran down to St. John Arena, Ohio State, and I changed out of my combat boots and camis in the locker room at the drill center into my gown and my suit, my freshly shaved head, my dog tags around my neck. I went and I sat down amongst the thousands who were graduating. And a girl next to me was trying to make small talk with everybody and said, "Hey, what's everybody doing after graduation?" She said, I have a marketing internship in New York City. I'm real excited about it. Another guy said, "Hey, I'm going to go play football for the NFL." And they looked at me and they said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, community relations." They said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, it's a good job overseas." And they said, "Really?" And they said, what country are you doing this in?" And finally, I took off my cap, my shaved head, and said, "Iraq." And right then, you could see the disconnect that many of our folks here who are not part of the 1% that raise their hand and wear the uniform to serve this country. The disconnect of what that means to protect the freedoms and the values, that the very fabric of this nation, the very thing that James Garfield protected, the very thing that students from Hiram once ran off to the Civil War to protect. That became very real to them in that moment, that they had somebody to thank for that. Our student veterans here, that's someone, those are people to thank for that. You know, the term leatherneck, they teach you in boot camp where that comes from, and it's often lost in just everyday pop culture. But to help you connect to what that means, that goes back to when the Marines would stand guard, and there was a leather collar that was placed around their neck to keep their head upright, to stay ever vigilant. And so that in those long hours of duty, they wouldn't bow their head and fall asleep and miss something. I'm glad to see that Hiram is, like many in the Marine Corps that follow that tradition. I'm proud to call you a leatherneck today, staying ever vigilant in the needs of our student veterans and bringing this community together, bringing a place where when student veterans come home and they're transitioning while they're trying to get acclimated to their civilian life and use their benefits, where they can come together as a family, people who understand what they've gone through. Thank you so much for having me here today. God bless you. And Semper Fidelis.
Okay, and really, our last speaker here is our Senor Eli Fays. Eli is works for a very dear friend and someone that I looked up to politically, Jim Petro, who is one of a dying breed. We're, believe it or not, Republicans don't all wear horns and tails. We actually got along with people before, and I think we still can. So, but Eli is cut from the same cloth, truly a warrior, and I'd like to bring him on. If that's okay, welcome.
Thank Thanks, Hiram. Every day I wake up and I always say, be more like Jason Dominguez. So this is kind of a tough act to follow. I'm sorry you put me up last. As Hiram mentioned, I did work for Chancellor Patriot when Hiram had started down this path of helping our veterans. And I now work for Chancellor John Kerry at the Board of Regents, so I'm here on his behalf. And on his behalf and the Regents, I just want to express my thanks to President Chema and the administration, faculty, staff, the trustees, the Henry family here at Hiram College for this, because this is truly special. This kind of a commitment to our veterans is great. At the Board of Regents, sometimes we can make our public institutions do things, but when one of our private institutions steps up and makes this kind of commitment, it's really special, and we really want to recognize that. So it's a privilege to have been a cheerleader on the sidelines for this since its inception, now come to fruition with Hiram. He's been unwavering in his commitment to this project, and his heart is really for our veterans, and I know this means a lot to him. So finally, I just want everybody to remember that everything that we do for the men and women that serve our country is always the least that we can do. It's always the least that we can do. We can always do more. There's always more to be done. And Hiram College, and they have stepped up and they've shown that more can be done. So again, on behalf of the Chancellor, the Regents, and Governor John Kasich, I want to thank everyone for this Freedom Center, and I want to thank especially our veterans. They deserve this. Thank you.
Okay, so, we haven't fun yet? We have just one more thing to do, and this is something that really, it means a lot to us, and we want you to, our folks who've come and joined us up here today, have a little takeaway. The senior member of the Henry family, I'd like to first, I'm going to bring something down to you, and then I want to present to all of you here, okay? Tom and the college have provided this booklet, and on behalf of the Patriot Development Group and BGL, our finance partners, we want to present the plaque and the book for you. All righty, start in order of importance.
Should have done reverse order.
Here we go, this is it.
Thank you. I have the book.
He brought a whole bunch of them. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. All righty. Dave, please. Thank you. Okay. My favorite Marine. One question. I just very quickly. I first met Jason, and he introduced me to Lieutenant Colonel Tom Moe. We were doing dedication down at Wright Pat, and there was actually a recreation of the cell at the Hanoi Hilton that Lieutenant Colonel Tom Moe was a guest of while during the Vietnam War. I have never met a soul more serene, more tranquil, and strength that was just quiet like Lieutenant Colonel Tom Moe. And I said, I see that in every veteran face that comes home. Once they're here, once they're settled in, they become my Jason, okay? My poster child. So I want you to please take a moment, say a prayer for our veterans, men and women who are serving. Thanks. Okay. Okay. And this is for you. Thank you. Amber, one for the senator. And when Lynn gets here, I promise I'll get her book. Hey, this concludes our ceremony right now. Please mingle. Take the tour. Okay? Yeah, we got to do that. That's right. Oh, my goodness. I need a volunteer. Marine would be great. Commander from the Army would be great, too. And I need all of you up. We're going to grab some scissors. We're going to stand you right here, and we're going to do a nice ribbon cutting right now. Corner right here. Stand here. You have a ribbon.
All righty. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Really?
Okay, you can all break up.
Please help yourself to all the food. Take your time in the building. We're here all day. Thank you.
Biggest celebrity you've ever met.
Good, how you doing?
Yeah, everybody was pretty much captivated to what was happening, so that was great.